Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome back once again, or for the very first time, to the Farts and Crap Show, where today, as per usual, it's your host, Danjo, here with an update video here on Stick Tips. This is an update for part 15, which I called Best PS4 Controller, as well as a couple other things I've mentioned throughout this series. This ongoing series of videos talking about controllers and my recommendations and all that good stuff. As per always, this video is not sponsored by any of the companies that make any of the products I'm talking about. These are purely just informational stuff, things I'm going to be talking about because of my own experience using these products. I paid for with my own money, so thank you all for stopping by. And yeah, in this video I talked about the Brook Wingman XE adapter, but now we have the version 1.4a update, which released literally the same day I was going to record this video, so now it's a day later, and I got all my notes together, so let's go ahead and get started. Talk about where you guys can get this update if you already have the Wingman XE adapter. It is at the URL listed at the top here, and basically according to them, they have added compatibility for more controllers, which they have, including the one I just showed, the PDP Face-Off Deluxe Plus, as well as the Victress Gambit World's fastest Xbox controller. Pretty cool. As well as the 8BitDo SN30 Pro No Spaces Needed, excellent, as well as the Mad Catz PS3 Street Fighter IV Fight Stick, the Egret 2 Mini Controller and Arcade, and the 8BitDo Pro 2. Wow, such a new controller, very cool. And there are some heavy asterisks there I will get to here in a moment. But this is my new one. I have customized some of my face-off controllers from PDP, and this is model number 500-134C5AC1. This one is compatible, just tested it, and I love the way it came out. This is actually the Animal Crossing Tom Nook controller, and I swapped out the faceplate and the thumbsticks. I think it looks great. I love this one. As well as the old version. This is the Zelda Breath of the Wild face-off controller. This is like one of their early models. And I went ahead and put the Animal Crossing Tom Nook one on there, and the Grip It stick heads from the other one, an older one of the other controllers we had, but yeah, I think it came out pretty good. It's not bad. We don't really use this one as much, so it kind of got the leftover parts, but surprisingly came out pretty good. I like it. And this is the newest model one, the 500-134-CM05 version 2.0. Previously, before this update, it was not compatible with the adapter, but I tested it yesterday, and now it is. So yeah, that's pretty great. And this is the one I've been using for a long time that was compatible, but not on the compatibility list. And this is model 500-134-CM021. And I really like this one. It's one of the early model PDP Face-Off Deluxe Plus controllers. And I was purposefully very hard on this controller. Like, I used it for God of War, I used it for basically Mario Party style playing. Like, and when I say God of War, I mean my God of War anthology, when I went through God of War 1, 2, Chains of Olympus, and Ghost of Sparta. And those games are very hard on your controllers. Like, they tell you to abuse the analogs very frequently, and as well as like mashing buttons and stuff like that. Like, your controllers will get wear and tear from playing those old games. Because yeah, this adapter also works on the PlayStation 3. So Works on PS3, PS4, and PS5 with PS4 compatible games. So, really great compatibility. And these are the 3 customized ones, which I think they look great together. Fantastic. So 4 different models of PDP face-off controllers. All of them work on the adapter. Initially, this video was going to be about how the older models work, the new one doesn't. Be sure to pay attention to the model numbers, because, yeah, the model number on the new one, the version 2.0, it did not show that model number on Amazon before I bought it. It was a complete surprise. If you are wondering what your model number is on your controller, it's not printed on the controller anywhere, as far as I could tell. It is printed on the box, like right next to the barcode. So that's where I confirmed the model number for each one of these. Yeah, thankfully I keep boxes for like all the things that I use, so it's very handy in times like this. And surprisingly, yeah, the 8BitDo SN30 Pro USB does work with this. It works perfectly. The only thing that does not work on any of these controllers on PS4 is the capture button. I don't know why. There's a dedicated capture button. Apparently on old Xbox controllers there is no capture button, and so they made it a button combination. But the problem is the specific button combination that triggers the capture input, or share input, I guess is what they call it, is touchpad and options. Which is not great, because if you have anything on screen and then you press those 2 things together, it's probably going to change what's on screen, because often one of those 2 inputs is used for some kind of menu in like 99% of PlayStation games. So it renders it pretty much useless, which is terrible. And I don't understand why they did this, because literally every Switch controller and almost every controller nowadays has a capture button, including this controller. It's the bottom left one. Like, I don't understand why. I don't understand why at all. But anyway, it works, which is great, because I've raved about this controller before. I love it. There is still a problem with the firmware I recommended in the video where I talked about this one, because it was also a quiet refresh from 8BitDo. And that's version 1.02, which you can still download on 8BitDo's website as of the time of recording. But I tested it with some games, specifically some Dark Souls, and yeah, there's a problem with the analog input. It's not great. I wasn't having the issue on Switch at all on version 1.02, but I went ahead and updated it to the latest firmware of 1.04, again at the time of recording this video. I hope 1.05 comes out at some point. But yeah, that seemed to have mostly resolved the issue, because I haven't used this controller on my Switch in a long time. So I was like, I could just update the firmware, it doesn't really matter. I do use it on another platform, but not the Switch. Especially since I have one of these now, the 8BitDo Pro 2 wired controller. That's the thing. This is not compatible with the new firmware. It is called the 8BitDo Pro 2, but there is a wireless version of this controller called the 8BitDo Pro 2. The wired one is not compatible. The wireless one, probably, because it communicates a lot like the SN30 Pro Plus, which I have talked about before, and it wasn't on the compatibility list, but it worked, and it still works, but not in wired mode. But it will pair with the adapter because it does Bluetooth and wired connections. But yeah, the they didn't really specify on the website. So anyway, I hit them up on Twitter. I was like, hey, just so you guys know, this one does not work with the adapter. It is called the 8BitDo Pro 2. It's just the wired version doesn't work for some reason, but whatever. So I don't know. It might be a long time before it's actually added, if it is added. I don't know. I'm just happy to see 8BitDo controllers supported on this adapter officially. That is very cool to me. I love it. But yeah, that's all the info I got for you guys. And if you're wondering what this lovely music is from, it is from Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap for Switch, Xbox, PS4, all the platforms basically. It's a fantastic game, a remake of one of my favorite games of all time, and a game that was super ahead of its time because it did come out in 1989 for the Sega Master System, as well as the TurboGrafx 16. I think that one came out a year later though. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, now I can play all my 2D games on PlayStation with one of my favorite retro pads, the SN30 Pro USB. It's great, and it works really, really well. I was saying the analog sticks have a slight problem with accuracy. Again, that's firmware. They're pretty much the exact same analog sticks that are on the other 8BitDo controllers. But yeah, I mean, it feels great to finally be using a D-pad that I enjoy for all those 2D games, because I have a lot of 2D games. And I just prefer to play them on other platforms, usually the Switch, because the Switch has the controllers with the D-pads that I like. And I don't know, it's mostly familiarity thing, but it's a preference thing as well. It's just it's really nice to have an update, you know? Compatibility updates are always good, always good. And I do hope they fix the thing with the share button in the future. I don't use the share button that often, but like as I was playing Elden Ring and like Horizon Forbidden West, very pretty games. Sometimes I just wanted to take a quick screenshot, you know? Which usually is very simple to do, you know? It could be, should be, has been. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. And if you guys are unfamiliar, if you don't have a Wingman XE yet, but you play on PlayStation, they're pretty frequently in stock on Amazon, at least. They're only run you about $40. And the great part about all of these controllers I've mentioned and recommended is they usually only go for $25. Like literally half the price of a lot of other controllers, especially like wireless ones and all this other crap. But yeah, use a wired controller, you know, you're not dealing with like Bluetooth latency, which is kind of my main issue with Bluetooth controllers in general. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. So thank you all for stopping by. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And real question, let's get this conversation started. What's your favorite adapter? If you aren't into adapters, what's your favorite controller from like platform? Like Sega Saturn, GameCube, the 3DO, the Magnavox Odyssey. I don't think anybody's favorite controller is the Magnavox Odyssey. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Greatly appreciate it. And of course, before we get going, a very special thank you to the Farts and Crap Show members who are very generous by nature. But yeah, Devalis Draconis, thank you so much. For checking the join button down below, choosing to support the show a bit more directly greatly helps out. And if you guys are unfamiliar, channel memberships are like, it's like a Patreon kind of thing. It's a paid membership, and you get various perks and stuff like that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for stopping by. And until next time, have a wonderful day and take care.